Okay, here with Fuentes de Oñoro, 1811, but the Battle of El Bodon, 1811. This is the Days of Glory series, and I'm playing with the latest rules that I have, which is the 2014 edition. So, whatever they call the how do they call it? The version 1814, which came out in 2014. We talked about orders, being in orders and out of orders, which, by the way, in this game, I think orders is not anything specific like attack this or defend that, but it's basically whether a formation has received orders or has not received orders from the commander-in-chief. Right, the effects of orders and activations. I think I am going to continue on and focus as much as I can on the core rules, and then once I'm up and going with the core rules, then I'll try to ease into the game-specific rules and the scenario-specific rules. Of note here in the El Bodon scenario, the French side only begins with one commander on the map, so the French forces are coming on in stages. So we'll continue on where we left off. Okay, I'm going to review a bit from what I did last time, or at least see what I did. So, as I understand it, every tactical group will receive one of these, I'm not even sure what they're called, but an orders marker, which has the same background or backside. This is Fog of War, which I think leads me to believe this game is probably quite a bit more fun playing actually face-to-face than solitaire. If you do play solitaire, no, there's still a piece missing. So I gave one of these orders marker to each tactical group. I think that's how it's supposed to be. Every tactical group should have one of these markers. Okay, so this unit, actually both of these units are within 2 hexes of another friendly unit, but these are two tactical groups, I believe, because these guys are under a different command. However, let me double check that. Okay, yeah, this is what I was thinking. So this formation, the purple formation, so we have purple formation and we have the green formation. The green formation is Picton, and the Picton he's represented individually there like that. These ones don't matter for this scenario because you're told that these two artillery units, which are also normally under a different formation, are attached to Picton. So basically you treat these two artillery units as being green units, but you don't treat these purple units as being green units. And this is how I figured this out. Or this is how I interpret it. His name is abbreviated, but this is Stapleton Cotton. Stapleton Cotton is another leader, another formation. The formation, and he has their own activation markers, just like Picton has his. The only difference is there isn't a Stapleton Cotton. Here, I'll put these over here like this, and these are Picton's. There isn't a Stapleton Cotton leader on the board, so there's Picton's the leader on the board. But again, as I understand it, there's the formation, there are the activation markers, and there's the leader. You don't have to have, I guess you don't have to have a leader on the board to operate as a formation. I think these guys are operating as their own formation, whatever Stapleton Cotton's command is. There's a C on there. I don't know, whatever the formation is, because they have their own activation markers. So when you pull these activation markers, you're operating with those two units, even though they're the only two units in this scenario that are on the board and in play. Okay, that's how I interpret that. So yes, so that's why earlier I gave a separate order marker to each one. I treated these as two separate tactical groups because they are two different formations or commands. I still put the order over there, but I don't know if you need an order when the leader's right there adjacent. But anyways, the deal though is that you flip them over. This is no orders. This is also no orders, but this is the orders with orders. This is the one order from Picton right there, the one. Okay. Now we'll go on and try to figure out the rest of this. I said before, the French only have the one leader. Montbrun here, his marker is on the very northern tip corner of the map. The only one on the map when we start here. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up again with the normal core rules. So I'm going to get to where I left off last time with the effects of orders and activations. So this is important. The orders marker of a tactical group, like these ones, are not turned face up until the group's first action marker is drawn. That's these. Oh, and I think in general each formation has two. I believe there are variations on that, but basically each formation has two. Or I should say normally each formation has two of those activation markers. So that's why it says when the first action marker is drawn and its formation activated thereby. Once revealed, it remains in force for the entire turn. The actions listed, where are they? Oh, okay, the actions you can do whether you're with orders or without orders, which are enumerated here. These are performed step by step for all tactical groups of a single formation. So I guess that is important. So what's an example? I think what they're saying is, so this is a tactical group, which I've already explained is without orders, and this is Picton, and this is Picton, but this group is with orders. When Picton's first action marker is drawn, you are going to flip over, you're going to reveal that Picton, or I guess you'd reveal all of them. Yeah, because they're all the tactical groups. They're all going to go during the same formation activation. Okay, I think that's what's meant there. All right, clarification, this is not necessary. Thus, it is not necessary to perform actions with all units of one tactical group before performing actions with those of a different tactical group. Okay. So I guess it's step by step, not tactical group by tactical group, is what they're saying. Units of a formation may perform actions at full capacity if they're with orders, or at reduced capacity if they're without orders, depending on their orders marker that has been assigned to the tactical group to which they belong. Okay, units, so I guess real quickly, if they're with orders, like the group over there, they're going to carry out artillery fire. Oh, and these are done in order. Okay, so they're going to carry out artillery fire. They're going to move normally, including charge movements, and reduced movement for artillery, which is fired. They can make forced marches if allowed. They can engage in shock combat or charge without an engagement test. That's important, without an engagement test. Attempt to rally. Now we go to units without orders. Units may in the following order either attempt to benefit with one tactical group at a time from the initiative of a leader. Okay, that's important, with the consequence given. So even though this tactical group is without orders, there's still an initiative process, which we'll get to later. Perform artillery fire without an engagement test. Move, including charge movement after an engagement test, with a reduced movement capacity, except for artillery, which is fired in cavalry units which have failed their charge engagement tests. These may not move, so there's limited movement. Then there's engage in shock combat after an engagement test, or charge engagement test already performed by charging cavalry before moving. or attempt to rally. Okay. So it looks like you can always attempt to rally. All right. Yeah, leader initiative, I guess we'll go ahead and talk about. So the initiative rating is indicated on the action marker. So yeah, let's use Picton here. So when we go to this tactical group here, flip it over, they're without orders. Picton, again, I'm grabbing his, this we will say is his first action marker drawn. The 4 there, this by the way is not a 0. For the longest time I was confused. That's an O for ordinary action marker. This is 4. That is the initiative rating. So the initiative rating is indicated on the action marker of each formation. It corresponds to the degree of initiative of the formation's leader, Picton in this case. After the formation's action marker is randomly drawn from the cup, its initiative rating can be utilized by every tactical group from that formation that has no orders. To do this, the player tests the leader's initiative. He rolls 1d10. Let's say we rolled a 9. For each tactical group with no orders, subtracting the die roll modifier of the commander-in-chief if at least one of the units in the tactical group is within his command range. Oh yeah, okay. Because there could be a tactical group that is within range but was still not given an order because there's still a limited number of orders. It's not like every formation within the commander's command range automatically gets orders. There are 2 things. There's the limit of the command range and there's the limit of the orders, the number of orders themselves. So if the modified die roll is equal... Oh, okay. So here is where if this formation was 1, 2, 3, 4, that's his command range, like that. Now they're within 2. So this tactical group would be without orders because the 1 order we say went to that group. Now this tactical group could roll against the initiative and use the subtract 1, the modifier there. And what do they call the leader modifier? Die roll modifier? Yeah. Because at least one of the units in the tactical group is within command range. There we go. So you would subtract 1 here. You use the 1, subtract from the die roll, but you're still trying to get 4 or less in this case, so you wouldn't get it here. The modified die roll is equal to or lower than the leader's initiative rating all units of the tactical group receive. Solely for the current activation, the capabilities of units in a tactical group which has received orders. When the second action marker of the formation is drawn later, it will be necessary to repeat the initiative test. So that's interesting. That's by activation marker draw. If the modified die roll is higher than the initiative rating, the leader of the units cannot take any actions except rally attempts. Oh. Okay. So that kind of, on my first reading of that implies that the player can choose whether to test initiative or not. You're not actually going through and doing this procedure for each formation. Sounds like you're taking a roll of the die, because if you fail, then you're only rallying. All right. Alright, so now we go back to orders phase. So we've done all of that. I have no idea. Actually, this is a good question, but I'm not going to stop for it now. But you have the 1 leader on the map. I mean, he doesn't need orders, does he? Well, he has an order anyway, so does he give himself orders? I don't know. I don't know if the sole leader gets orders or not. Let's just nominally do that, but move on. Now we go to strategic initiative phase. Now I do remember this scenario gives the French player automatic strategic initiative on the first turn of the game. So I'll talk about that again later when we actually do it. So the player, do a die roll, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but we have the initiative. The French side has the initiative. Choose as an action marker. So now we need to figure out the action markers that the French actually have. Well, that's funny. Why? Oh, no. Okay. All right, so I'll try to go slowly here. The French, 1 Montbrun. These are the ones I'm choosing from. 1, I'm looking at the scenario information. 1 Lamotte. Here, Lamotte. And 1 Derlone right there. Okay, like that. These are the starting action markers. Now the reason why there are these 3 is because these 3 units of these 3 formations come on the board this turn. That's why. So because I only have my leader, Montbrun, my main leader, my commander-in-chief here, all these other units are off the board. I'm basically choosing which formation I want to come on first. And I'm just going to choose, I'm going to choose Montbrun actually. So what I do, I think, is I'm going to set these aside for a second. So he needs to be, the action marker still needs to be laid out. But this is the first one chosen by the French side, Montbrun himself. Now, player with the initiative chooses the action marker belonging to the formation which will start the turn. Now we assemble. Okay, I was waiting. Now we go to step C. So step C, A was orders phase, B is strategic initiative, which is set for this scenario for the first turn, French. Then we go to assembly phase. Now we take, in our opaque container, now we take the rest of the action markers. So again, these are given in this scenario, 1 for Lamotte, 1 for Derlone. And then for the Anglo-Portuguese, we have Picton and Stapleton Cotton. So, and that's 1. Oh, and I remember seeing this. So, let me show these examples. Here are both of Picton's action markers. Here are both of Stapleton Cotton's markers. Picton's ones are identical, 4 and 4 for initiative. Stapleton Cotton has 4 and 3. You actually, if you have 2 and they have different initiative ratings, you take the higher one first. So this one's going to come in second. You're told when this comes in second. It's not going to matter with Picton because they're the same. There, so we put 1 Picton action marker and 1 Stapleton Cotton action marker into the common, the common draw cup. So we're doing this for the formations present on the map as well as those due to enter play as reinforcements this turn. That's the French ones because they're due to come on the board. Okay, so that's our draw pile. I'm just going to set that off to the side for now, but that is our draw pile. Now we go to D, the activation phase. So let's look at the first, it's going to be a French activation. So activation phase, the first one, step D, French side, Montbrun actually for the formation.